Hey, Nelson, alcoholic addict. It's not my real name. I use a pen name here in my newsletter. I took a run a couple days ago through a residential neighborhood, and about 3 minutes in, I looked up ahead of me and I saw something moving on the ground. And when I got closer, the thing lifted its head and opened its mouth, and I realized it was a snake, a very badly injured snake. You don't see many snakes where I live in central Connecticut. So I stopped and I stood beside him for a minute, and he laid his head down and he stopped moving. I waited a little while longer. I was trying to figure out whether to move him into the grass, call somebody, do something to help this creature. And I leaned down to try to scoop him up and move him into the grass, but then I had second thoughts. I wasn't sure what kind of snake it was, and I grew up out in the sticks, but my snake knowledge is still pretty limited to try to stay the hell away from snakes. So I left him where he was. I waited maybe 30 seconds. I wasn't sure what to do, and I finally realized that he was dead. I just stood there beside him, and I teared up a little bit, and I don't I don't actually know if this was a male snake, but I'm using the word he because, he was a living creature and he died in front of me, so I don't want to say it over and over and over again. So I even gave him a name, Frank the Snake, and it was a weird but powerful moment for me. I just kept thinking, why am I so sad right now? There's a part of my brain that gets insecure still for being sad and for crying, because other people might not find things sad that I do, and that I'm just insecure about that. And that part of my brain was whispering to me, "Hey, it's just a snake. There was nothing you could do anyway." But I was sad, and it wasn't from guilt. I've always loved animals, so I don't have any deep down shame about past transgressions against nature. So I thought about it, and I ultimately landed on the idea that I was sad because it was sad. That deep down, loss of life, any life, it matters to me now. And I came too close to dying so many times in my life that I have great respect for the miracle that it is that I'm even walking around anymore, That's a gift of sobriety. And part of me wishes I could be a little bit more cold towards things like that. I've found in sobriety that empathy is a double-edged sword. Most of the time it's wonderful. It's great to feel things and to be able to really absorb when a person or a cat or even a snake is in pain. That's a great thing. But it also hurts. It hurts in a way that can be really uncomfortable. I think an earlier version of me, before I got into recovery, might have shrugged and just said, "Hey, who cares? It's just a snake." But it stung me for a while afterward. It still does. And I thought about that snake the next couple of days. I'll also say, though, that when empathy can be aimed in the right direction, it's also can be a beautiful thing. Before I went on that run, I found myself a little irritated with my kids. I don't know why, no specific reason. Kids are kids. They do things that can be frustrating. And I think just the past year and a half has been really hard on families that are cooped up in close quarters. You get sick of each other. I don't know what else to say. But by the time I got back from that run, I felt, 10% less aggravated about some of these things that they just weren't a big deal in the grand scheme of things. And so I like to think that I carried that snake with me, and I still do. I was a little less grumpy the rest of the night with my family, and I hope they realize they owe a debt of gratitude to my old friend, Frank the Snake. So rest in peace, Frank. Thanks for letting me share.